Hello everyone, my name is Gokuldas Changadkar and welcome to this video series on sales data analytics. And in this is module 2, and in this module we will learn ETL techniques. Okay, so what is the agenda for module 2? In the previous module we had looked at the historical sales data and identified key data fields which will be of interest to us as part of the scope we defined in the introduction video. In this module, what we will do is we'll create two types of Excel sheets. One containing the master data, which will contain the dimension related information, and another will contain the facts. So the fact is all sales related information. We will also have a hands-on practice to load this data into Microsoft Power BI using different connectors. And we will use Excel file connector, and also we will use folder connector to load the multiple files. Okay, let's start preparing the master data. That means I need to build all the dimensions. So this is my raw data which you have seen in the module 1. So I'm going to focus on geography dimension. So I am interested in city, state, postal code, country and territory. So I'm going to do control shift and then down arrow so I can have an entire range. So I'm going to copy it and I'm going to create a new sheet and I'm going to paste. Sorry. So I will do control G. I will go back. So I will control Z. This I will select again, control C. Okay, and now I will go here and do control V. Okay, so now I have all the city, state, postal code, country and territory. And these are all part of geography dimension. So I am going to rename this sheet as geography. But now did you see that there are few blanks here? Okay, so as well as there are some blank postcodes. So state is blank as well as uh, so we need to handle this blank. Okay, so this is part of the cleanup exercise, but before I do that I want to remove the duplicates. Okay, so in Excel we can go to a data section and I can say, can you see this? So we can see that so first let me select the range like this and down arrow, and now I will say I want to remove the duplicates. Okay, so it has selected all my columns and I am going to say, so it has removed it. So now see, what I have is only unique combination of this. So let's see how many rows are there. So there are around total 80 rows, but one is for heading. So we have 79 members. Okay, combination of postal code, city and state. But can you see we have some blanks here, and that how to take care of it, we will see it in the next section. Okay, let's first handle the blanks in the state column. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to create two new columns. Okay, so I'm going to name them state n and state n2, because I need to handle two levels of transformation. So that's why I'm. So first in this column I will handle the blank. So all I have to do is, if this cell is equal to empty or blank, then I'm going to mark it as unknown, and then otherwise I am going to say it is same. Okay, so now I can apply that formula to all the other cells. Now the second thing is, if you look here, unknown is again multiple countries, but I want unique combination of unknown. So what I will do is, I can do simple concatenation. So I'm going to do this, and just add a bracket to handle country, and then I have to just say F2, and again complete the bracket, and that's it. And now I have unknown combination, unique combination of states. Okay, so now what we will do is, now I have named this, so I will just rename this because I don't want this column. So I'm going to rename this column. Okay, so I'm going to change it heading. I will just set state old, and I am going to hide them. Okay, uh, and this I will rename it to state back. So my state is there. Okay, now let's handle postcode also. Now postcode also, what we'll do, we will insert new columns. Okay, and again I will call this as postcode old, and this I'm going to name postcode. Okay, and I'm going to handle the blank very similar to what we did for state. So that is equal, so I'm comparing if it is equal to this, then say it is unknown, otherwise it is it. Okay, now again if I look for unknowns, luckily I don't have many cities which are different, so only two. So what I can do is, I can manually correct that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to select LA and see how many are there. So I can see uh, there is only one. Okay, I will see if how many are in San Francisco. Okay, let's see. So clear the filter. Okay, so if I see city filter LA, how many are there? Yeah, there are not many. Okay, so all I'm going to do is, I'm going to manually correct this. Okay, so I will add one more column, postcode new. Okay, and clear the filter, and all formula I will apply it. If this is equal to unknown, then only concatenate it with city. Okay, so I am going to say B2, and then C2, and then otherwise it should be added. So if we look at now, so Oh, sorry. It should have been D2. Okay, so now we can hide this. Okay, just rename this to 2 before, and then I can rename this back to postcode. And now we should have our clean geography dimension with unique combinations. So these are my unique combinations and each member is unique. So now in the next section we will build the other dimension. Okay, thank you. Okay, now that we have the unique combination of geography master data, okay, we will now create the master data for product. So let's go back to our raw data. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select product line and product code and select the data, and in master data Excel I'm going to add a new sheet, rename this to product, and let's paste it here. Okay, so now that we have here all the data, just let me insert product code before product line. Okay, so now that we have this data, so what I can do is I can remove the duplicates. Okay, so now from 2714 duplicate values, just we have 109 unique combination. So just let's quickly look at it, if there are any blanks or anything. So this looks good. uh, so yeah, now let's bring order status. So let's see again in the raw data. So I'm going to select this, and I'm going to create another sheet to rename this as order status. Okay, let me, because it's going to be a dimension, let me rename this with the prefix dim. This with dim order status. And now let's bring the data. Now this again we can remove the duplicates. So we have only 6 unique combinations. So that's good. Now last but not the least is measure. Um, I'm just showing this as a dimension. Okay, so we have three measured. One is order quantity, unit price, and sales amount. So this I'm going to create manually. So I will call it measure, and I will just say quantity, unit price, and sales amount. So now that we have created our master data, I will save this Excel so can be then loaded into Power BI. Okay, let's look at the historical sales data. So this is containing the fields which we identified in the model 1. Okay, so all I'm going to do here, so there are around 3000 records. So what I'm going to do is, because we will be using folder type connector using Power BI, so I need to load the multiple sales files. The reason is because once we load the historical data, then ongoing sales data also can be loaded so that you don't have to create new connections. Let's now understand a brief about um, Power BI. Look for Power BI desktop. So, and I'm going to start that. You can download this for free from Microsoft App Store, okay, mainly for Windows. So it's available for free. And this is the tool which will be loading the data and doing all our work. Okay, so this is like a designer. So I'm just going to close it. So I'm just going to give you the brief. So on the home screen, we have get data option, and there are multiple options how you can different data sources you can use. So we'll be using Excel file connector, and also we'll be using uh, folder connector. So it takes some time, but yeah, so we are going to select this option. So then let's, as we load the data in the next section, we'll understand how to use, but just how you load the data. So this is the tool we are going to use. So, okay, let us load the master data now. So for that, I'm going to read just from Excel file because all my data is in one Excel file. So it's a master data folder, and in that there is a master data Excel. So I'm going to load that. Now it is showing me which are the sheets in the Excel sheet. I'm only interested in geography, dim measure, dim work order. I'm sorry, order status and dim product. Okay. So these four only I need to do, and then I will say transform data again. So now all I am going to do here is I am going to just do simple transformation because my first row is my head are my headers. So I'm just setting them as a header. So now in geography, all these are my headers. Okay. In similarly, same for other dimensions. So now that I have just loaded this, I can just say close and apply. Okay, so now all my dimensions are there. So you can see that I can view them. So in my data view, so yeah, so now we have loaded all our product as well as order status and everything. Code is empty, I don't know. Oh, it has, it shows me so many rows, so therefore it's not showing. Okay. Okay, so now that we have loaded, okay, let's go to the next section. Now we are going to load the files. Okay, because we are going to have multiple files, we will go with a folder connection. So what I will do here, I'm in a Power BI desktop menu, and here I am in the get data option. So I want to use a folder connection. So I'm going to click on more. Let's give it a couple of minutes. And now I'm going to select the folder. So my data is in sales folder, which I am going to navigate. It's under C drive, Power BI training folder, and then I'm going to select sales folder. This is where my all facts are there. So let's click OK here. Now if you look at it, what it has loaded is there are three Excel files. Okay, so you can see it's giving the name of the Excel file. The content is binary, so don't worry about it for now. What is the extension of the file, when this was last modified and when it was last accessed, and also it is giving us a folder path. Now we have different option here. We can use combine and load, combine and transform data, but I'm going to use transform data. So now what we will do, we will add a custom column. Okay, so I'm going to name that as fact cells. Okay, and then I will give some Power Query command, which is I'm reading a workbook. Okay, and then within the workbook I need to pass excel dot content, or I can use only content, because then now you should always check here, there are no syntax error detected. So if you do any typing mistake, it may give that, and I have here one. uh, Otherwise it would have given me error after loading. So syntax wise it was okay, but I had one extra excel there, so I've corrected that. So now it tells me it's a table. Okay, because it's row and columns, so each sheet has basically it's like a tabular structure. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to just expand this, then it is going to tell us what it is. Okay, so let's review what it has expanded to. So it is telling that the data is Factcells data is a table. The item is basically name of that item is Factcells, because I have given the sheet name as Factcells. So and therefore the kind is it's a Excel worksheet, and whether it is hidden or not, and that is false. Okay, now I need to do one more thing, because I need to now bring the data from each of the sheet. So you know it is a table. Okay, so again I am going to do a add a custom column. Okay, and now I can say that these are column details. Okay, okay, and then I can say that Excel, I think the command is headers, so it is table dot promote headers. So that is the command, and I have to use fact uh, fact sales dot data. So table.promote headers is a query I want to. So promote the first row of values as the column header. That's what the promote header does. Because in my Excel sheet, the first row has all the headings for my table. So therefore I'm saying please show me those. So let me click the OK and I have that now. And if I say now it shows me all the columns. Now I don't want all these data to come in because month and year I'm not interested. I am not interested in city because once we build a geography dimension, it's going to come as a parent of postal code. And I think we are now ready to load it. Now the last transformation I am going to do is I am going to rename these columns. Okay, so let me read. So all these columns I'm going to now rename. Nice names. Okay, I will say this quantity. This is unit price. This is sales amount. Then what is the order date? Order status. This is my list price. This is my postcode. Oh, sorry, this is the product code. And this is my postcode. So now that I have renamed these key data columns from my each Excel sheet, now this rest of the columns I am not interested. I'm just going to remove them. So now this is nicely I have brought into Power BI desktop all the data I need from the facts, and it has combined it from all the three files, or it's going to do it. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to say home and say close and apply, and now I'm going to apply the changes. So it's loading the data. So now if we can see that it has brought the data and we all these columns are there nicely. So now I'm going to, we can now go to the next section. Okay, now let's see what we achieved so far. So we reorganized our master data and then loaded it in Power BI using Excel file connector. We loaded multiple fact files using folder connection. Folder connection is going to be useful when we want to load multiple files, but because we are historical data for last 3 years, so even for demo I had only 5,000 record. I separated it into 3 files because in real life it will be 1 lakh or more records. And also in future you want to load every month's actuals as it comes. So that will help. So whenever you put any new file and refresh, then no, it will get automatically loaded. Only thing important is you need to follow consistent format for each of the Excel file. So that needs to be identical. So now we have come to end of this module 2. Let's understand what we will cover in module 3 and 4. We will cover the basics of data modeling techniques. We will understand what is star schema, what is snowflake schema. Okay. We'll also build the date dimension, which is one of the key dimension, and that we'll build within Power BI. We'll build the hierarchies for product as well as geography dimension. And finally, we'll set up the relationship between fact cube, which is our sales cube, and all the dimensions. And then we can start building our visualization. Thank you.